Hi, I'm Gillian Flynn. So I was the TV critic for Entertainment Weekly and was very interested in trying to write a novel. And I was really inspired kind of originally by Dennis Lehane's Mystic River, actually. That was kind of the first time I remember coming home from EW with that book and reading it through the night and going to work the next day and thinking, that's how I tell this story that has been in my head for so long, I'll make it a mystery. So Gone Girl is this kind of twisty, noirish thriller about a married couple, Nick and Amy Dunn, and Amy goes missing under very mysterious circumstances on their 5-year wedding anniversary. And so it's kind of a he said, she said story of marriage with a very dark twist to it.
Where did you get your inspiration for the characters of Nick and Amy?
You know, for Amy, when I was creating her, I just had that picture of a very brittle blonde in my mind the whole time, as someone who would be very kind of self-righteous, someone who had had a very easy life. She'd grown up as the subject of this children's book series that her parents created called Amazing Amy, and so she had this strange kind of iconic status that she didn't necessarily earn herself. And so she had this strange, you know, she had that sort of entitlement sense. She also was beautiful. She was incredibly smart. She was rich. She just had never had anything go wrong for her. Nick is a little bit like me as far as pure biography. I mean, he's, you know, a kid who came from, you know, grew up in Missouri and made it to New York and worked for a pop culture magazine and was really obsessed with movies and TV and constantly, you know, making references. And, you know, he takes it to that next step, which is he has trouble, I think, engaging in real life sometimes, and he kind of uses all his TV and pop culture references to distance himself.
I was just curious, Amy's parents were both renowned psychologists, so why didn't they ever clue into Amy's mental illness or have any inkling as to what was wrong with her?
You know, I think Amy's parents were kind of doing a little bit of a don't ask, don't tell sort of game with her. I think they were in denial that they, you know, no one wants to think that they've raised anything but the perfect child, and so that they were kind of willfully blind, I think.
I really enjoyed the book, in spite of the fact that I did not really care for any of the characters. So my question would be to you was, how difficult was that to write the story with so many unsympathetic characters?
My characters are often not very sympathetic. It's very true. They're often actually difficult to like. I have a big soft spot for people who kind of can't get out of their own way. You know, people on the varying levels of from just being jerks to being, you know, outright evil. But you know, I have a soft spot for losers and dopes and people who do the wrong thing just because they can't quite help themselves or don't know what to do, and they're, you know, they're fun people to write.
What I'd really like to know is if you're planning a sequel to Gone Girl.
It's funny. I did not remotely think about writing a sequel, and I didn't deliberately choose the ending I did in order to tease people or anything, or set anything up. But you know, that said, never say never, because I've certainly gotten the range of sequel questions from like, gosh, I hope you write a sequel, to like, you better be writing a sequel. Like, get on it right now, because we need to, you know, we need some more information. So, never say never.
Since you live in Chicago, I was wondering what you love about the city and if your next book would be set in Chicago.
To me, Chicago, it was love at first sight. When I remember as a kid coming up from Kansas City, driving into the city with my parents for a family vacation, and I just thought, what is this city? I mean, to me, it seems so big and loud and vibrant and thrilling, and I still feel that way. There's a great artist community here. There's, you know, there's music. People are creating things, and I would love to do a Chicago book. And Gone Girl was originally, in the early drafts, was set in Chicago, and it didn't work. I mean, and that's how much I really wanted to do a Chicago book, but it didn't work for the story. It just didn't. It didn't make sense for what had. The story needed to have much more of a dead-end town feel to it, a place of coming to the end of things, and that's not Chicago. But I'm hoping in my next book to finally do a big Chicago book, because I'm ready.